Welcome to a Community Partners interview where we explore the organizations, opportunities, and resources that look to make change in our daily lives. I'm your host, Sean Pickard, and you're listening to Voices for Ability Radio, all abilities, all the time. Today, I'm joined by Julian Cappelli, the Chair of Education and Awareness Committee for Lupus Ontario. Lupus Ontario's mission is to provide vital support, education, advocacy, and research through the fundraising efforts of our staff and volunteer community to help those with lupus live longer, healthier, and better lives. Lupus Ontario is the largest provincial voluntary organization dedicated to improving the lives of people living with lupus. They support the lupus community by living out their mission through these pillars: support, education, awareness, advocacy, and research. Thank you for joining us today, Julian. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on today. Super excited to be here and chat a bit more.
Well, I'm really looking forward to learning more about Lupus Ontario. But before we get going there, please tell us a little bit about yourself. What is the Julian Cappelli experience and what inspired you to work for Lupus Ontario?
Yeah, thanks for the introduction. And just a little bit about me. As you mentioned, I'm the board director and chair of the Public Awareness and Education Committee at Lupus Ontario. And basically, I joined just a little over a year ago. And I have some family members who were not diagnosed with lupus, but some similar diseases. And that's what motivated me to join. And also, I work for the Public Health Agency of Canada as an economic analyst. So just my work there also played a role in having me join. And super thrilled to be on the organization. And it's been great so far.
That's good to hear. Now, let's hear a little bit about lupus. What is lupus? What are some of the symptoms?
Yeah, so lupus is a chronic disease characterized by inflammation in one or more parts of the body. It belongs in the family of autoimmune diseases that include rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis, juvenile diabetes, and scleroderma. The most common type of lupus is systemic lupus erythematosus. It is estimated that lupus affects tens of thousands of people in Canada. And systemic lupus has a complex and sometimes baffling it's complex and it's sometimes baffling condition that can target any tissue or organ of the body, including skin, muscles, joints, blood vessels, lung, heart, kidneys, and the brain. There are other types of lupus which mainly affect the skin. A few individuals develop drug-induced lupus as a response to some medications used to treat other conditions, but these symptoms disappear when the person stops taking the medication. In terms of who gets lupus? Anyone can. Men, women, and children, usually between the ages of 15 to 45. More women than men are diagnosed, but in those under 15 over 45, both sexes are usually equally affected.
That is a lot of people that can impact. Now, what are some of the symptoms with lupus? How would someone know they need to go see a doctor?
Well, in terms of the symptoms, a person with lupus may experience some of the following, including joint pain, sometimes with swelling, a red rash across the upper cheeks and bridge of the nose, extreme fatigue, an unusual reaction to sunlight, fever, a red scaly skin rash, small ulcers inside the nose or mouth, chest pain, worse when lying down or inhaling, swelling of the feet and legs, and seizures or severe neurological symptoms, and as well as hair loss. But that being said, this is far from the complete list of symptoms. Some findings are apparent only in blood tests. So thus, the diagnosis of lupus must be made through a doctor. So that's important to note.
Absolutely important that the diagnosis must come from a doctor. But there's a lot of different symptoms there. How can someone manage them?
Well, in terms of controlling the disease, there's usually it comes in flares, and sometimes flares follow a clear pattern, and with the same combination of symptoms every time. And sometimes there's some warning signs you could watch for. But catching a flare in the early stages is really important and easier to make. Make it easier to go about your daily life. I think.
Well, it's going to be difficult to, say cover the redness across the cheeks and the nose, right? But I mean, you can do a lot with makeup, for example. So I was just curious. Like, there's a lot of different things. What are some of the common ones you hear?
Well, I just want to point out that there's no cure actually yet for lupus, but with treatment, most people can look forward to like low normal life expectancy. In terms of managing lupus symptoms, mainly. But yeah, in terms of managing lupus flares, basically it's mostly just lifestyle adjustments and emotional support, whether that's prioritizing rest and sleep, managing stress, and avoiding like certain triggers such as sun exposure. But really, it's just important to listen to your doctor. But we at Lupus Ontario, we have we offer support groups where that's run by facilitators, and we have a bunch of different ones available, which includes a provincial support group, Ottawa support group, the young adults social, Windsor support group, Western. We also have a dance and medicine support group as well, and a men's support group. So there's definitely an avenue to speak with others who are experiencing the same thing, and sometimes that's great to help manage things.
So having that support is probably the biggest thing that you can do. But a lot can be done just by diet and exercise, say. So that's good to know. Now, on the website, I noticed things like an education tab. You hold some webinars. Lupus Ontario has their own podcast. There's articles. There's book reviews. Tell me about the education section on your website.
Yeah, for sure. So, like you've mentioned, we have webinars, podcasts, research articles, and book reviews available on the website. Feel free to check it out, lupusontario.org. Basically, we like to interchange between webinars and podcasts. Typically, for podcasts, we'll invite a lupus warrior or a physician or someone who's helping out the lupus community to the podcast just to talk a bit more about themselves and their lupus journey and what's helped them. The webinars are actually a bit more popular with physicians who present potential like treatment options or what's going on in research, what's coming next, such as like therapeutics, stuff like that. Or we have life coaches come and kind of give tips and tricks of how to deal with the lupus. So that's that aspect. And then in terms of research articles, with thanks to our social media team, we try to post a research article weekly on LinkedIn. And there you can see all the latest research going on in the lupus world. So be sure to check it out.
Very, very important to stay up to date on what's going on medically. Now, I also noticed a couple other different initiatives that you have going on. Talk to us about some of the stuff that's happening at Lupus Ontario.
Yeah, so the biggest thing we have going on this summer will be the Walk for Lupus. So every year we host a Walk for Lupus where participants would register in the regions close by. This year we have Durham, Brampton, Mississauga, Richmond Hill, Toronto, Hamilton, Barrie, Ottawa, just the whole bunch. And basically at those events, we'd go for a walk and raise money for lupus, and we do a raffle, and everyone gets a chance to win some cool prizes. Physicians and some politicians in the area we'll do some speeches. You'll also hear some speeches from lupus warriors. So that's really fantastic, and it's a really nice way to go out and meet people as well.
That sounds great. Now, where is it in Durham? I'm actually in Durham, so I want to know where this is going on. Do you know the Durham location?
The Durham one will be at I believe the Ajax Rotary Park, 11:30 a.m. on June 7th.
Okay. Might have to look into that one. It's a little Ajax, is a little ways, but I can get there, I think. Now, on your website, there was also a little bit of talk about support groups. You and I, we also touched base on support groups earlier. You mentioned that there were many different ones, but what goes on in those support groups? Talk to me about what one of those meetings looks like.
Well, basically, in one of those meetings, there will be a facilitator there, as well as other fellow lupus warriors. And basically, in that session, individuals will share strategies, suggestions, tips on self management with lupus, and talk about new research, and also just kind of unwind and just talk with one another, kind of discuss with how their day's been going, how their week's been going. Sometimes the discussion can be super technical. Other times it could just be super casual, and that's what's great. It's not too serious at all times. It's really, to get your mind off things and just talk with people who are going through similar things as you.
Now, how often do you have someone coming to one of those meetings that goes, "Hey, folks, I found this," and all of a sudden everyone's got this new life hack or something? Does that happen?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not the one who's facilitating the meeting, so I don't have like, immediate feedback on that. But what I have been, but what's great is I do get like a report after a meeting is done, and it's just a brief summary. And I always see like great podcast ideas in there that we use for future meetings. So it's also another way for people with lupus to have their voices be heard, because I want to hear those things so I could help spread that education and awareness to the greater community. So it's really wonderful.
That is wonderful to have. I love hearing those stories. Now, I want to get into a little bit of the research that's going on for lupus. I know that you've got some stuff such as the Jeff Carr Fellowship. There's the Honey Agar Fellowship and the lupus clinics. What's going on with those? What do they do?
Well, the goal of the fellowship is to train rheumatologists to become an expert in diagnosing and treating lupus, and the fellows also required to complete a research project regarding lupus, and we would provide like the funding for that fellowship, and the objectives of the fellowship would to be to learn the best practices of diagnosing lupus, as well as treating lupus and predicting and managing flares. As I mentioned, participating in the lupus research project, and previous fellows have found it to be incredibly like life changing for them, and they really benefited from taking from going forward with the fellowship.
And I love hearing the stories about, the organization helping guide the research. That is awesome because you're actually getting information from the source, right? Instead of what someone thinks we need.
Oh, and I forgot to touch up on the Honey Agar Fellowship. For that one, the fellowship is named for the founder of Lupus Ontario, who is Honey Agar, who unfortunately passed away in 2023. This one is unique in Canada because it's dealing with highly specialized subject and taking full advantage of multidisciplinary faculty expertise in the management of diverse and substantive patient population. And it's based in Toronto, incorporating Mount Sinai Hospital, Sunnybrook, as well as St. Michael's, allowing fellows in the program to gain a broad exposure to the medical management of pregnancy in rheumatic disease patients. So yeah, that's a little bit more about that. I don't want to take too much time on that.
It sounds rather in depth, though, the Honey Agar Fellowship. So that is very important work to be carried on. Let's talk about restrictions of the services of Lupus Ontario, whether it's age, it can only be a caregiver or family member, you have to be married, things of that nature. When it comes to Lupus Ontario helping people, what are the restrictions?
Well, when it comes to helping people, I want to just say that one of the biggest challenges of lupus is that it's unpredictable, which can make it difficult to get the appropriate like accommodations or benefits. Because symptoms can fluctuate, people can often face skepticism from employers or even healthcare providers. And since there's a lack lack of awareness. Lupus is often underdiagnosed or misdiagnosed, delaying treatment and support. In terms of, I think that's like the biggest challenges people with lupus face is just that access to support in the first place.
That is a huge aspect as well. That is a huge aspect as well. Now, when someone comes to Lupus Ontario and they're looking to get into Lupus Ontario, get some resources, get some support, get some help, what is the process for determining what supports or resources are required? Do you have your own sorting hat? How do you figure out who goes where?
Do you mind actually repeating that one more time?
Not a problem. When someone first comes to Lupus Ontario, they're looking for some help. They're looking to find out what the supports and resources are that Lupus Ontario offers. How do you determine what supports and resources they get?
Well, I think it really it's patient to patient, but what I really suggest is that people go to our website and check out our fact booklet. And in our fact booklet, that will give you all the necessary information you'll need regarding lupus. And I think that's a really good start to learn a little bit more about the illness.
Okay, so check out the fact first. Very good. Now, this is one of my favorite questions here, Julian, because this allows us to actually get a real understanding of what Lupus Ontario does. I would like for you, sir, to share a success story with me, but please don't use any names. Don't identify this individual. But what happened when somebody came to Lupus Ontario and asked for help? Can you take me through that story?
Yeah, let me just think of a good one for a second. So a good one was actually at the Ottawa Walk last year. I'm based in Ottawa, by the way. Last year I was helping out with the Ottawa Walk, and someone approached me. They had no idea what the event was going on about, and they wanted some more information, and they told me they had lupus and they had no idea that we even existed. So I said, wow, yeah, like, of course we exist. Here's our information. You're more than welcome to check us out. Feel free to shoot me an email. And next thing I know, a few weeks go by and I receive an email from this individual looking to have their story heard on one of our podcasts. And I think anytime someone reaches out to me to share their story, I'm more than happy to hear them out. And after connecting with them, we had them present their story on the podcast, which was released. And we not only did they get to share their story, I had other people reach out to me after listening to that person's story, and they were so moved by what they said. And it's kind of like I don't know how to word this, but it's like a tumbling effect where one person, you tell one person and then the word just spreads like wildfire. And once I went back to this individual and I told them all the positive feedback, they were just super ecstatic. And since then they've helped out with numerous educational pieces, whether that's sourcing articles or finding other people to join the podcast. So they've been a great resource for us, and it's truly a really inspirational person, I'd say.
It's amazing when those stories come to light and people are suddenly, I don't want to say inspired by an individual, but I think it's a matter of someone seeing themselves, right? Hey, this person did it, why can't I? Or something to that nature. So I love those stories. But let's talk about what happens today, Julian, when it comes to individuals with disabilities today. What is the one thing that you see happening over and over again to individuals with disabilities that shouldn't be, and how do we stop it?
It's a really good question. I want to say basically there's just the general stigma surrounding disability, and I think that pairs well with people who are going through lupus, especially if it's because lupus is an invisible illness. It may not be something you could see on the surface, and that goes for people who have disabilities. Sometimes they may be going through something and you may not see that. So it's really important to highlight these things on platforms like Voices for Ability Radio, because it helps broaden awareness about invisible diseases and chronic illness. It reduces the stigma and ensures people living with lupus and disabilities know that they're not alone. And sharing stories, lupus warrior stories, and other stories, it helps advocate for better healthcare, accommodations, and social support.
Absolutely. So I love hearing that one. Now, I'm sure you've got a number of people in Ontario who are both members and volunteers, but I want to break that up for a little bit. I want to put a little bit of separation in there, because if someone wanted to become a member of Lupus Ontario, what's the process for joining? What flaming hoops do they need to jump through? Who do they need to talk to?
Very good question. You do not need to have lupus to help out with Lupus Ontario. I do not have lupus myself. But that being said, we are always looking for more help, more support, especially volunteers. I will plug in an email, but you're more than welcome to reach out to me. Let me just, I'll find the proper. Yeah. So if you want to find ways you could help, you're more than welcome to email admin@lupusontario.org. Again, that's admin@lupusontario.org. And feel free to shoot that email a message. Just introduce yourself, put in a CV, state why you're interested in helping out, and we'd be more than happy to hear from you. And even if you don't want to join, you just want to help out, just feel free to send an email, whether that's sharing, whether it's you have a friend in mind who might want to help out. I would love to hear from them. So that's the best way to connect with us.
So that was info@lupusontario.ca. You want to make sure I got that right?
Sorry, admin@lupusontario.org.
Admin@lupusontario.org. Very, very important. Now, for people like me who are a little old school, do you have a 1-800 number, Julian?
Yes. We have our main telephone line can be reached at 905-415-1099. Again, that's 905-415-1099.
And all that information can be used to become a member of Lupus Ontario as well as a volunteer, correct?
With members, that is obviously subject to committee approval and board approval. But in terms of volunteers, that should be relatively straightforward. We're always looking for help.
Excellent. And they can also get a hold of you, or do you have a separate email? How would folks get a hold of you, Julian?
Yes, for sure. The best way to reach me would be through my email at jcappelli, JCAPPELLI 501 @gmail.com. That would probably be the best way to reach me.
Excellent. So folks can get a hold of you at that email. Now, we are running out of time here, Julian, but are there any events coming up for Lupus Ontario this summer?
The main thing to keep an eye for will be the walks. June 7th will be Durham. June 8th will be Brampton. Again, and June 8th in Mississauga. 21st of June will be in Richmond Hill. July 19th, Toronto. August 9th will be Earls Court Community Park, and August 16th will be Hamilton. And there's a bunch of others. Be sure to go on our website, www.lupusorg.org, and be sure to check it out.
Excellent. We're running out of time here, Julian, so would you care to say goodbye to the folks at home?
Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for having me. It was a complete blast. I'm happy to share a bit more about Lupus Ontario and a little bit about my role and what I do at the organization. And feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, concerns, or just want to help out.
Thank you very much, Julian. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Julian Cappelli with Lupus Ontario, and I'm Sean Pickard. That's all the time we have for now, folks. Until next time, bye for now.